Hi, how you doing there, folks? I'm making this video to talk about an unfair deal that Mike Bloomberg made to get votes for his run for a third term. He made a deal to have the Bedford bike lane removed. The bike lane removed from 14 blocks of Bedford Avenue. Now, Mike Bloomberg was for bike lanes all over the city. The reason was because he wanted to get more people to ride bikes and less people driving. Well, he made a deal to remove this bike lane in exchange for votes from the Williamsburg South community, which is Orthodox, and did not want people riding through on bikes. Okay, folks? Now, this was not fair, but then it's very says a lot about Mike's political record. 'Cause Mike is always making promises and then going back and not fulfilling it. Number one, this is one of them. Another one is Mike Bloomberg saying that he was going to create lots of affordable housing. Did he create lots of affordable housing? I don't think so. Mostly all that went up was luxury condos, luxury apartment buildings for the rich. Number two. Number three, another thing that Mike Bloomberg said he was going to do was support mass transit. Now the MTA is in its worst funding, is in a funding crisis, about to make draconian cuts. Mike Bloomberg talked about that he was going to take a step to get a funding source for the MTA through putting tolls on now free East River bridges and tunnels. He hasn't fulfilled it. Mike Bloomberg has not fulfilled his promise for affordable housing. Mike Bloomberg has not fulfilled his promise to fund mass transit. Went back on his bike lane policy by having 14 blocks of the bike lane on Bedford Avenue removed in Brooklyn. Mike Bloomberg is a con man, folks. Everything Mike Bloomberg says he's going to do when it came to affordable housing, supporting mass transit, and now this says a lot about Mike Bloomberg. Number one, he said he supported term limits. He had term limits extended, folks. He spent $100 million on a win where he just barely won, a humiliating win. Number one. Number two, Mike Bloomberg, in his own words, said that to remove term limits is a disgrace. Well, Mike, I guess you were a disgrace for doing it. Number one. Number two, another thing that Mike Bloomberg did was he said he was not going to, when he ran for election, he said he was not going to do any further FDNY engine and ladder company cuts. Now he's proposing to eliminate 20 FDNY engine and ladder companies. Mike Bloomberg is a con man, folks.